Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. ABP Amy Brown has beautiful reunion with grandchildren. In a now deleted post by Alaskan Bush People star Raven, Amy Brown finally met her grandson Cove. Soon after the photo went up, it returned a 404 error. Actually, Raven quite often does that on her social media. Or, she will change the name, hide things, then unhide them. However, we grabbed a screenshot before that happened, so you can see how delighted Cove's grandmother looked. ABP Amy Brown was denied meeting Cove. Cove arrived after his parents separated for a while. However, Bear flew to Texas for the birth. Unfortunately, their new baby wasn't well and ended up in the NICU for a while. Raven asked for prayers and fans sent in a lot of positive thoughts. It turned out that although she carried him full term, the baby arrived with respiratory issues usually found in preemie children. Fortunately, he survived, and these days he is thriving alongside his brother River. At the end of January, Bear shared a photo of Raven with Cove, and as she was in a car, Discovery Channel fans were happy that the baby was well enough to go home. However, Amy Brown wouldn't get to meet the baby until much later. In fact, Raven remained in Texas for quite a long time. Recently, she and Bear got together in Washington, and he's enjoying seeing his kids at the moment. Amy Brown meets her grandchildren. Raven said that she would not let anyone in Bear's family meet her child soon after his arrival. Why was that? Well, she talked about how her little baby was born with respiratory issues. Additionally, as the flu season was full on, she didn't want to risk Cove getting sick. Naturally, Alaskan Bush People fans understood her caution. Now, for the first time, ABP fans saw a photo of the Wolf Pack mom with the new addition. Amy Brown didn't share any photos of River or Cove on her Instagram that Bear announced recently. Presumably, she only just caught up with grandchildren. Actually, it makes sense because Bear's been helping her prepare her accommodation on the ranch. Additionally, Bear said that he wants to take the kids up there to enjoy the last of the summer. Raven might stick with Bear. Amy Brown met up with Bear on the ranch, and they talked about how she's planning her gardens and a big celebration when they finally move back there. Bear also talked about how he's building a habitable cabin for himself and his little family. Plus, the word arrived that Raven and Bear probably won't split again. So hopefully, Amy spends a lot more time with her grandchildren than she has in the past. In the heart of the Alaskan wilderness, where towering pines kiss the endless sky and rivers cut deep into the rugged earth, a special moment was about to unfold. The Brown family, known to the world as the resilient and resourceful clan from Alaskan Bush People, had weathered many storms together. But on this particular day, a new chapter was about to be written. A chapter filled with love, laughter, and the warmth of familial bonds that defy even the harshest of elements. Amy Brown, the matriarch of the Brown family, stood at the edge of the clearing, her eyes scanning the horizon. The wind played gently with her silver hair, carrying with it the familiar sense of the forest she had called home for so many years. Despite the trials she'd have faced, battling illness, the loss of her beloved husband Billy, and the ever-present challenges of living off the grid, Amy had always found strength in her family. And today, that strength was being rewarded in the most beautiful way. In the distance, the sound of laughter echoed through the trees. Amy's heart swelled with anticipation as she recognized the joyful voices of her grandchildren, who were making their way toward her. It had been too long since she had seen their bright, smiling faces. The hardships of life in the bush had kept them apart for longer than any of them had wanted. But today, nothing could keep them from this long-awaited reunion. The first to burst through the trees was Elijah, Bear's energetic son, with his wild curls bouncing as he ran. His eyes sparkled with the same mischievous glint that his father's once had. "Grandma Emmy," he shouted, his voice filled with pure excitement. Emmy knelt down just in time to catch Elijah in her arms, his small body colliding with hers in a hug that was as fierce as it was tender. "Oh, my little cub," she murmured, her voice thick with emotion. "I've missed you so much." Behind Elijah, River, and Sophie, Noah's children came running hand in hand. Their laughter was like music to Amy's ears, a melody that had been missing from her life for far too long. As they reached her, they too were enveloped in her warm embrace. River, with his thoughtful eyes, and Sophie, with her sweet smile, were reminders of the legacy that the Browns were building, one rooted in love, resilience, and the unbreakable bond of family. Finally, Eli and Adam, Gabe's twin boys, appeared, toddling along with the kind of determination that only toddlers possess. Their chubby hands grasped at the air as they made their way to their grandmother. Gabe, ever the watchful father, followed close behind, a proud smile on his face as he watched his sons reach their destination. Amy gathered the twins in her arms, her heart nearly bursting with happiness. "Look at you too," she whispered, kissing the tops of their heads. "You're getting so big." As the children settled around her, chattering excitedly about all the things they had done and seen since their last visit, Amy felt a profound sense of peace wash over her. This was what she had fought for, these moments of pure, unfiltered joy with the people she loved most in the world. The rest of the Brown family soon joined the gathering. Bear, his usual wild energy tempered by the calmness that only fatherhood could bring, came up and placed a hand on his mother's shoulder. His eyes, though still as intense as ever, held a softness that spoke of the love he had for his mother and the respect he had for the life she had led. "Mom," he said quietly, "it's so good to see you like this." Amy looked up at her son, her eyes shining. "It's good to be seen like this, Bear. I've been waiting for this day." Noah and Rain followed, their children trailing behind them like ducklings. Noah, ever the thoughtful and methodical one, had brought along a handcrafted gift for his mother, a beautiful wooden carving of a mother bear and her cubs. It was a symbol of the strength and unity that had always been at the heart of their family. Gabe, with his beard now longer and wilder than ever, came next, his wife Raquel by his side. Their boys clung to their father's legs, still a little shy in the presence of so many people. But as Amy reached out to them, their shyness melted away, replaced by the innocent trust that children so freely give. Bam Bam and Rain were the last to arrive. Bam, who had always been a bit of a loner, now stood tall and confident, his eyes betraying the deep love he had for his family, even if he didn't always show it in the same way his siblings did. And Rain, the youngest of the Brown children, had blossomed into a strong and compassionate young woman. She had been through so much, but standing there, with her family around her, she looked as if she could take on the world. For a moment, the entire Brown family stood together in the clearing, the quiet strength of their bond palpable in the air. The sun filtered through the trees, casting a golden glow over them, as if nature itself was blessing this reunion. As the day wore on, the family shared stories, laughter, and a meal prepared with love. The children played, their laughter ringing out like bells through the forest. And Amy, sitting in the center of it all, felt her heart fill with a happiness that she had not known in a long time. She watched as her grandchildren explored the wilderness, their curiosity and wonder reminding her of her own children when they were young. Every scrape, every tumble, was met with encouragement and love, lessons that the Browns had learned over the years and were now passing on to the next generation. As the sun began to set, casting a warm, golden light over the clearing, Amy gathered her family close. The children, tired from their day of adventure, snuggled up to their parents, their eyes heavy with sleep. Amy looked around at her family, her heart swelling with pride and gratitude. They had been through so much together, loss, hardship, and uncertainty, but through it all, they had remained united. And now, with her grandchildren by her side, Amy felt a renewed sense of hope for the future. "We've been through a lot," she said softly, her voice carrying the weight of years of experience. "But we've always come out stronger on the other side. And as long as we have each other, I know we'll keep getting stronger." The family nodded in agreement, their hearts full. As the last rays of the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the world in twilight, They sat together in comfortable silence, content in the knowledge that they were, and always would be, a family. And in that moment, as the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Amy Brown knew that she had everything she could ever need, right here, in the heart of the Alaskan wilderness, surrounded by the love of her family.